What's up, everyone? All right, well, here we are, Thursday morning, and kind of like last week, two really big green days back to back. Yesterday, record breaker, 224,000. Today, second best day of my career, 152,000. Before I started the recap, 153,000 by the end of the recap, as I did a live trade on UONE. When we have breakouts like red to green moves or break a VWAP that results in a $10 to $15 per share squeeze, we're in a crazy market. We're in a crazy market right now. This is absolutely insane. I just continue to be just kind of in shock in the amount of volatility that we have right now, that it so far exceeds anything that I had previously seen. And so each day, again, when I start trading, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to start with 5,000, 7,500 shares, 10,000 shares. Next thing I know, I get 150-cent winner. I'm up, $3,000, $4,000. Okay, good. I've started to build my cushion. Next trade, another 50, 75-cent winner. Now I'm up 8,000. Then I've got a bigger cushion. I take a trade, size up a little bit with 10,000, maybe 12,000 shares. 50 cents, $6,000. Next thing I'm up 16,000, then 18, then 20, 25, 28. And then today I got to a place where I was taking 18,000 share positions of $20 stock. That's almost $400,000 in the trade. It's a lot of money in the trade, but I felt confident, and that stock ripped from 20 up to $30. So we had a couple of breakouts where with 12,000, 15,000, or 18,000 shares, I was just ripping $25,000 winners, which is outside of what is typical. I mean, it's so far beyond what we're used to seeing. But, I think as traders, we have to be willing to adapt to the market, and you have to trade the market you're in. And sometimes in the past, I've been aggressive during a cold market, and right now I'm totally in touch with how hot the market is, and it's absolutely the right move to be aggressive. If I right now made the decision to be conservative, to trade with small size, I would be leaving so much opportunity on the table. That right now for me would be the wrong decision. So trade the market you're in. If the market is irrationally weak, it doesn't make sense, but just ease off. If it's irrationally strong, again, it doesn't make sense, but be aggressive. Capitalize on the opportunity, because you never know when it's gonna end. And this hot streak will come to an end. And I am worried about having a big loss, which could be the result of holding a stock that gets halted on news and ends up being like a secondary offering in the middle of the day or something like that. That, with a big position and share size and dollar amount, I mean, that could be a high five or even a six-figure loss if I had a big enough position. So that's something that I am nervous about, and I sort of am dealing with that fear when I'm trading each day of, I want to be aggressive, but then worst case scenario, I'm stuck with this whole position in a halt. What does that mean? And so it's kind of like, I'm trying to position myself with enough shares that I can do really well in the breakouts, but not with so many shares that potentially, I could end up having a loss that is a bigger loss than I've made in like other whole entire months of trading. And I think it's probably true with a lot of traders that the biggest losses that you'll ever have will often be at the end of hot streaks, because it's at the end of the hot streak before it ends when you're feeling most confident, when you've made the most money, and where you're willing to take the biggest share size and take the largest position sizes. So in terms of dollar amounts as well. So, that can be the one that then all of a sudden something happens and boom, really big loss. So that's the spot where I'm not trying to psych myself out, but at the same time, I don't want to be oblivious to the fact that taking a $360,000, $380,000 position on a small cap stock that has a S3 shelf registration for $50 million isn't risky. It's risky. Day trading is risky, in case you didn't know that already. So, I don't want you guys to think, oh, I should just follow Ross on every trade he takes. You shouldn't do that. because that's not a recipe for success, number one. You shouldn't just blindly follow me or anyone else. But secondly, my ability to take risk right now is going to be based partly on the fact that I've had such a strong hot streak, right? So if you haven't had a hot streak and you don't have that cushion, then your risk tolerance is going to be very different from mine. So you have to manage your risk. That's what it comes down to. All right, so I've got to jump into a class right here at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to jump in there. Many of you guys are going to be in there. I'm looking forward to it. And those who miss it, we'll probably have some links in the description that you can check out to watch one of the replays of one of my workshops. And I'll see you guys back here first thing, live streaming tomorrow morning right around 9 a.m. for the watch list. All right, see you guys in the morning. All right, you guys, so we're gonna do our recap here for today. This is, it's another day of pretty incredible momentum. UONE is up 90% right now. I'm still kind of watching it for a possible dip trade. The VWAP is around 21.29. It's consolidating at this support level, and if it breaks 23.50-ish, then we might see a flush down towards 23. That could give a dip trade for a pop back up to 23.50, but it could go lower. So I want to kind of watch it around that level and see whether or not it gives a dip trade. It feels like right now we're kind of on the backside of the momentum where we had increasing momentum from 14 all the way up to $30 a share. I mean, if you bought 10,000 shares and held for the whole move, that's $150,000 right there. So probably no one would have done that, but okay, so watch here. So this is a spot, it's about to get halted going down. So watching, it's gonna halt going down. 22.61, 21.30 is the volume weight average price. I'd put an order here at 22.80. I watch it to see if it does a false halt. It looks like it's gonna do a real halt, and so I don't, in that case, pull the trigger. Now, sometimes I would get in right there for a dip trade into a halt going down. But this is on the backside of the move right now. So we kind of differentiate the front and the back of a momentum stock based on a couple things. I mean, one way can be looking at volume. So increasing volume through here and then decreasing volume right here. So decreasing volume but sometimes stocks will continue to go up on decreasing volume, which is what we would call a divergence. So that can still happen. So that's not a definite guarantee that you're on the backside of the move. But what is a stronger likelihood is when you see several false breakouts. So on the 5-minute, for instance, and I know my chart's kind of messy because I've got a lot of lines drawn. On the 5-minute chart, I'll just get rid of these. We have a high of just over $30, but the 5-minute pullback that resulted in that breakout right here, you know, the previous 5-minute pullbacks were a lot stronger. This was, money in the bank. That was just $20 all the way up to $24. It's $4 a share. My biggest position on this today was 18,000 shares. 18,000 shares is $360,000 in the stock at about the price where I had it. So that's not like beginner share size. That's probably one of the biggest positions I've taken in quite a while. Was it the right move? Absolutely. And 18,000 shares times $3 a share is almost $60,000, and just like that. And so this was actually where I took my biggest position. It was right down here to anticipate the breakthrough 20, and we got an amazing breakout. Then a micro pullback here. This pullback on the 5-minute resulted in another big squeeze. This pullback popped up, but it didn't break very much through the high. And then this was a false breakout right here, and now the 5 minutes coming down. Now this was also a false breakout, so it's not necessarily guaranteed that what's happening right here isn't the same as what happened kind of right through here, where it did pull back on lighter volume. Because at the time you might have said, oh, false breakout, declining volume, but then all of a sudden it rips back through the highs. So, it's back in play. So it's hard to say with any total certainty that this is definitely going to be the high of day, and this is the backside of the move from here on through the rest of the day. But
That was a pretty parabolic move. Stock went almost straight up, so that may end up being the case. Now, the halt time on this, I can put my time and sales right here. So the halt time on this was 12:01 and 43 seconds. So resumption should be 12:06 and 43 seconds if it's a 5-minute long halt. So the halt price was 22.60. So on this, I'd probably at this time of the day bring down my share size a little bit, and maybe put an order around 22.50 or something, 22.51. It doesn't really matter. It's just what it was. The bounce off the VWAP 21.21 is certainly something I'm watching. Now, a risk factor that I've been aware of with this stock is the fact that they do have an active S3. So if we go over to this website, which is a little easier to navigate than the actual SEC website, UONE, you can see here, and let me just do a time check. So we've got about a minute to resumption. Okay. So this groups the different types of filings, so they're easy to just real quick check. So we've an amended S3 from 2019 to sell up to $50 million worth of stock. And as I said on this day, Tuesday, there's no better day to sell and do a secondary offering than during this kind of move. So that is a definite risk factor. If they don't do it, then, okay, that's fine, but it's a risk factor. So it's something I'm a little concerned about. And that made me say that I wouldn't be trading this one pre-market. And I also was likely to take very quick trades and not just get in and hold for like a big, long type of trade. And that would be the same here. So if I do a dip trade here, I'd look for a quick pop back up and then I'd be right back out. So this is going to be a high risk, aggressive trade. We've got about 20 seconds to resumption. So let's watch this for a second. All right, so I've got my hand here. The halt going down is 22.60. This isn't probably the type of trade I could take like 10,000 shares of, but maybe it's just the volume's declined a little bit. So hands on the buy button. So long right there. And let's see, I'm in at 22.75. Is it going to break over 23? There's 23.25. And then I stopped out of the rest. So what was that, $1,000? Something like that. It's kind of hard. I was a little thrown off because I was like, wait, I don't usually trade. I usually have it right in front of me. But where was I in at? I was in at 38 and 48. And then I got a partial fill at 99.85 and then sold the rest at 22. So not bad. And generally I look for an immediate pop. It pulled back, kind of retested the lows, and then came up a second time. So that's not really my favorite type of setup, but it's fine. ALPN. So this is the one that I really screwed this one up. I'm down $4,000 on it. I was up 9,000, and then I gave back that profit. So on this one, I had a couple of nice trades. Let's see. We had a trade pre-market right here, looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high on this ABCD pattern. And I thought that it was going to break over 1675 and then rip back through the highs. It didn't, but I still had a nice trade there from 16 up to 1675. Out of the gates, we had a dip trade. I had a really nice trade on the resumption for a pop back up through 14. Then it went lower. I tried to take another dip trade and lost $5,000. I took another dip trade and lost another $5,000. I took another dip trade and lost another $5,000, so I lost $15,000 in dip trades, and it put me from up 9,000 to down 4,500 on the stock, which is kind of annoying. At that point, I had already made money on AEMD, which was a pre-market trade. There was news that came out pre-market, and this squeezed here, as you can see, from $1.50 all the way up to $4.33. And I think my first entry on this was around like $2.75. So I was in kind of a little high, but not terribly. I bought first 5,000 shares, then went up to 10, then went up to 20,000. So I was holding 20,000 shares and rode that momentum. We hit a high of over $4. So that was pretty nice. Regular trading hours hasn't been as easy to trade. CARV, a little choppy, popped up this morning out of the gates. I didn't get that first trade right through here, but I did buy right here for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. That gave whatever it was, $2,300 in profit. AESE, this was another one that was a pre-market trade actually. I bought in this area for the what I thought was going to be the break over 4. It hit a high of 92 and then dropped back down. So stopped out of that with small profit. And yeah, those are the stocks from today. UONE, my first trades on it were way back here. Again, I missed this initial move, but then I got in as it broke back through the high right here. So as it dipped down and then ripped back up, I got in, had a nice trade through there. Not with big size, I didn't make a ton on it, but the one that I really got aggressive on, we had a nice trade here that I was pretty aggressive on, traded it through here, had some nice profits, and then where I stepped up to the plate with that 18,000 share position was right here, getting it at 1850. It squeezes up to 19, all the way up to a high of 19, whatever. Then out of the resumption, adding on this dip, and we got that squeeze from 1950 all the way up to $23. Amazing. Pulls back, pops up. I'm adding on the breakouts, selling as it breaks those levels, buying the next dip, selling in the breakout, and I was just in and out, in and out. This is a market where there's an incredible amount of volatility. There's generally a pretty decent amount of volume as well, and that's creating a lot of opportunity to get in and out, and easily get in and out with fairly big positions. I mean, my trades on this were pretty decent size, and mostly buying the ask. So if I bought the ask right now, the problem is there's a really big spread. So I was usually waiting for the spreads to tighten up a little bit, then I would buy the ask and try to sell on the ask as well. So on that last trade that I took, let's see, wherever that was, I was trying to sell on the ask and take profit, and I think I did. Again, I don't remember exactly. I was at like 152 before the recap, so maybe that added $1,000. But those are trades that have a pretty high level of confidence in. My accuracy this month has been 83%. So, you know, I've had some losses. I had a couple of good-sized losses today, but pretty good accuracy. Total number of trades this month, 551. Now, if we looked at a month, I mean, we could just look back at like December 2019. So December 2019, I took a total, hang on, 12/31/2019. I took a total of 85 trades, 67% accuracy. So the number of trades were we just didn't have nearly as much opportunity as we have right now. We have so much more opportunity. So I've literally traded 5 times more than I traded in December, and I've been making more on each trade. So my profit is more than 5 times that because we've just been seeing some incredible volatility. This has been a time to be aggressive for me, for my strategy. So there it is today, $153,000, second best day of my career. Yesterday was the best day, 225. No, what was yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was 225. My previous best day, gosh, I can't even, let me just check my calendar here. So hang on, let me just filter this. So this is the month of June here. So let's see, we're on gross profit. So 224, and then 132 was the previous best day. So big green days clustered together. I had right here biggest green day on Tuesday. Then the next day was my biggest green day. I beat it the next day. Yesterday was biggest green day ever. Today I didn't beat it, but I did really, really well. So in the last 10 days, I mean, well, the worst day I had was only $4,400. These days have been averaging five figures for sure, with a couple of 6-figure days. So this was a record day. That was a new record day. This was the 3rd greenest day of all time. This was then the new 3rd greenest day of all time. This was a 4th, 5th greenest day of all time, 5th biggest day. And now this is the new biggest day. So biggest green day, 2nd biggest green day, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. So my top 6 biggest green days of my career have been within the last 2 weeks. In May, That is my 7th biggest green day of my career. And this $40,000 day would be, is that the 8th? Oops. Hang on. Let me go back to here. Yeah, I think that's the 8th. So, I mean, oh, and that wasn't including today. Well, whatever. So, in any case, it just goes to show, when the market's hot, it's pedal to the metal, and I absolutely am going to be aggressive. And on the other hand, we look back at the month of December, which was a decent month, but the market, relatively speaking, felt pretty good, but it wasn't like it is now. So I didn't trade as much. There weren't as many opportunities. I literally took 101 trades on the day I set my record right there. I took 81 trades the next day and 46 yesterday, 49 the day before. And that's in contrast to the beginning of my small account challenge, where I would typically be taking only 2 or 3 trades a day. So it's just a reflection of the incredible amount of volatility in the market. So I think that, for sure, I want to recognize you guys who are working really hard, who are trying to learn this stuff. You're learning in a really interesting time. This is the kind of wildest I've seen the market in my career. And I haven't been trading for as long as some people. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, but it may have been wilder in 2007 and 8. I don't know. It probably was wilder in 1999 with the dot-com bubble just exploding. People were, I was hearing about, I've talked to people who are like, oh my God, I traded through it. It was amazing. Everything you bought just went up. You hold stuff overnight. Next thing you know, you're up 100, 200, 300%. But I didn't trade through that, so I can't say from my own experience. But this has been an incredible opportunity. And I hope those of you guys who have been doing well have been putting away some of that money, because I do not think it's realistic to expect that we're going to have months like this for like an extended period of time. I think that we have a window right now where there's a lot of volatility, there's a lot of opportunity, but of course there's a lot of risk. And today I had $15,000 in losses on ALPN. I had one loss on UONE that was about $8,000. So today I probably have $25,000, maybe $30,000 in total losses. And then my net profit, is 153. So, and I took some big trades. Had I been in a situation where UONE did get halted, and then we found out that they just did a secondary offering yesterday priced at, I don't know, like $8, that would have dropped like $10 a share. With a 10,000 share position, that could be a $100,000 loss. So that's the single stock exposure risk that we have when we're trading these types of stocks that are really volatile, that don't always have really clear catalysts, and that are companies that have been beaten up for a long time and might take this as an opportunity to raise money. Not that I could say specifically about this one, but just in general, we see that. So I am grateful for every day that goes by that I'm not caught in a secondary offering halt going down, or halted pending news of a secondary offering. But it is a risk factor, and it's one of those things, the more you trade and the longer into the day you trade and the longer you hold your positions, the more you're exposing yourself to the risk that could happen. So today's a day where it's a little past noon and I'm stepping off. I'm done. I'm going to ease off the throttle. I'm done. I'm not going to take any more trades. Could have maybe taken a few more, but we know that news of secondary offerings is more common in the afternoon and pre-market and after hours. So I'm just going to say, you know what? That's it for me. This is a great day. There's no reason to risk having something terrible happen and then taking a $50,000, $75,000 loss. It may happen at some point in my career, and if I continue to trade some of these stocks that are as crazy as they are, it might happen. But I will at least have the fact that I have a really big profit cushion. 153 today, 225 yesterday. That's $375,000 in 2 days. That's more than I paid for my first house and my second house. That's insane. So I never would have expected when we talked earlier this year, some people had asked me what my biggest green day was of all time, and I had said that, it was 40,000, whatever, that was my biggest green day. And I was like, in order for me to top that and to hit a $50,000 day or to hit a $100,000 day, I was like, I would have to be doing two things. I would have to be taking really big share size, like 15, 20,000 shares. And I would need to get like $3, $4 a share type of moves. And we just don't see it that often. Well, as it turns out, we've been seeing it a lot in the last couple weeks. This had a low of 10 and a high of $30. That's a $20 per share intraday move. So 10,000 shares, that's $200,000 top to bottom. This was the other day right here, from $6 up to $40. 10,000 shares of that, that's almost $400,000, $300,000. That's insane. And that's only 10,000 shares. That's if you got the whole move. But AEMD, we've just been seeing back-to-back huge multi-dollar per share breakouts. So it's pretty crazy, that's for sure. So on the year right now, I am sitting up as of yesterday. I haven't imported my trades from today, obviously. But as of yesterday, I was sitting at 1.24 million in gross profit on the year, which makes it, that's my best year so far. So 1.24 in gross profit, 73% accuracy, profit loss ratio looking pretty good. The biggest winner and biggest loser have both come within the last month, because I did have a $12,000 loser on a dip trade like 2 weeks ago, and then the $30,000 winner was a really good trade too. 2,235 trades. Now, if we look back at, like 2017, just same period of time to June 18th, this was when I first started my small account challenge. So during this 6 months, I was trading with small account. I had 10% of the profit, but look at the number of trades, only 368 trades. I was trading a lot less. My average losers were a little bigger. It's just, I wasn't trading as much. That was the biggest difference, is that I was trading a lot less. So it's just, we've got so many opportunities. I even feel like I'm leaving money on the table, but at the same time, I don't want to risk having a screw up or getting caught in a stock that gets halted or something like that. So anyways, that's it for me. Another green day. I'll be back at it tomorrow. If I am green tomorrow, it will set my record. It'll tie my previous record, actually, for the longest consecutive green days. That previous record was set from, I believe, 2015 going into 2016. So I'm excited to tie that record tomorrow and then break it on Monday. It's not that I don't expect to at some point have a red day. I've had several days where I have gone red, but then we just keep seeing more opportunities, and so then there's something else I can get in, and next thing I know, I'm back in the green. So the red days will probably come more when we really see momentum slow down and we see stocks just failing, and we see more action like what we saw on ALPN, where right out of the gates just everything fails and it really doesn't recover. So anyways, good job for those of you guys that locked up some profit. Those who made some mistakes, learn from those lessons. Don't trade with real money till you've proven you can be profitable in the simulator, and don't blindly follow me or anyone else on your trades. Follow the rules and really try to build a strong foundation so you can be at this for a long time. All right, I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning, right around 9 a.m. for our pre-market watch list.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Help us hit 750,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button, and stay tuned and check out some of my other awesome uploads right here on YouTube.